Hey, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining me on my channel. This week on my bench I have a Harman Kardon HK 720 CD player. This was brought to me by a viewer. It was a viewer submitted unit, and he contacted me through my channel. He's local. Michael is local to me, so he brought this to me. He wants me to have a look at it. He bought this a while ago. I think he said mentioned during the start of the pandemic, and he was kind of disappointed that it's not working its best. It's a really nice, clean unit. It's really not damaged anywhere, and it's really good condition for its age. But it does have a problem. He says sometimes the tray doesn't close, or if you put a CD in, it ejects it right away. And it's kind of a common problem for these CD players that are, getting 25 years old now or more. And just a coincidence, I was sitting on eBay earlier today and I was looking at equipment, and I saw an identical CD player, the HK 720, and I think it was out of Wisconsin. I'm not sure. The listing, the guy selling it said that it has the same problem. The tray would close and then it would eject again, and he couldn't get the tray to stay closed and play a disc. But we're going to give this one a try, and we're going to see how it works. It might work, it might not. It's kind of an iffy thing. But let's give it a shot here. Just turn it on, and it seeks for a disc. It's seeking, and then it's a conclusion there's no disc, so it tells us that. So for our listening pleasure today, I'm going to try out Goldfrapp's Silver Eye CD, and we'll see how this works. I'm just going to hit play. It should automatically close, and it loads. So everything's working here. Seeking good. It's got no problems finding the tracks. It does it quickly, which is good. Search works. Pause. Ten tracks. We're going to go through them all. Let's go to the last track. Back to track one. So everything seems normal. So this doesn't make very good videos when we have a machine that's working normally. Let's keep trying this tray. See, it doesn't have any problems. You can't hear it struggling. It just closes and loads. But I do have an idea what's going on with this. If the tray closes and it ejects right away, it is because the tray is not closing enough, or it's not closing properly, and that's due to a slipping belt. So I think what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to change the belt on this. I'm going to see if I can get it to recreate the problem first, because that's kind of important for making sure that we are going after the right problem here. So I'm just going to play with this a little longer and see if I can get it to work or not work. So just a quick look at the back. We got a digital output, coaxial, and then you got your right and left analog outputs. Switch for autoplay. I'm not really sure what this does, but I'm sure the instruction manual will explain that. Remote feed through, in and out. This does support a remote control. I don't know much about this either. Like I said, I have to consult the manual. And it is manufactured November 1998, so this does put it at about 23 years old, and made in China. Yeah, so I got the screws out. Let's have a look. Everything's nice. It's nice build quality. I have a separate transformer board and power switch here. A power supply section here. So to get this door off, you're going to have to eject the tray. You have to plug these back in, power it up, and eject it, and then shut the power off. The tray door open. This is the bottom of the tray door. The tray's bottom of the tray. There's two latches here, and what you want to do is put upward pressure on the bottom of the door, and just a little bit of pressure, and it just falls off. See, it snaps on these two and these two keys. All right, so we got the CD drive out of the chassis, and this is the spindle motor. This is the sled motor. This motor controls the position of the laser pickup head, the optical block, and this motor spins the disc. This motor here is the tray motor. This one does the loading and unloading of the tray. So what we need to do is we need to open this. You just spin this gear and get this tray open. We're going to need to remove the tray, or maybe not. We can see the belt in there. You can see the belt in here. I could probably change it just like that. Okay, let's take that belt out. And this is the problem with our tray loading. And it's quite the surface where the pulleys are riding is quite polished, and that's the reason why it's slipping. It might even have some grease on it. Looks like it did have a little bit of oil. Alright, I just hope I have one in stock here. Okay, so what do we have? 3.5. 3.5. Let me see if I have a 3.5 in stock. Alright, so I do have 3.5 belts in stock. Problem is they're a little bit thicker than the original, which isn't a bad thing because I think the original belt was a little too thin, and I think that's probably the reason, part of the reason why it was slipping, because the inside surface got glazed with use, and you know, the more surface area you have on your belt contacting the pulley, the better grip you're gonna, better torque you're gonna be able to transfer. And I think this one will last. This one will work, and it'll last. But instead of me trying to work through this little hole here, I'm gonna take this top off. I think it's maybe necessary to show you that, you know, it's pretty simple just to take the top off, and we can go that way. Just a couple screws here, and then there's 3 latches on each side, so I'll need a little screwdriver. Okay, now we can do this. Now I can see what I'm doing in here. You can see the motor pulley, if it's got grease on it or not. I'm going to clean that. This is his contact cleaner. Just going to see if this removes. If there's any grease on here, it'll cause the belt to slip. And I'll do the same for this. And you can see that there's grease on the other components here. Just hope we don't get it transferred. Yeah, I think it was dirty. The belt itself is still good. It hasn't been stretched. It's not limp. It's not cracked. It just had contamination on the surface where it was where the rides on the pulleys in the V groove. And what I did is I cleaned it with contact cleaner, and that got rid of a lot of the black contaminants that were on that belt surface. And then I gave it a treatment of rubber renew, and I think it's going to be a lot better now. I think it's going to last them another 5-10 years anyway, so I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll put it back together and we'll give it a test and get this back to the customer. All right, so I have it reinstalled. It didn't take me long, because it's a minute or two, just 4 bolts, 4 screws. Let's test its load function now. Doesn't seem to have any troubles. Let's try a CD. Probably one thing I should have done is lubricated that motor. But it's working pretty good now. I think it's even working faster than what it was before. It was coming out pretty slow. And that belt has a lot of... Let's try dragging the belt down. Oops, too slow. The belt seems to have a lot of torque now. I put a little drag on the tray, it still loads. I can stall it. I can still stall it, but it's got a lot more. Alright, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to install the tray door. This just snaps on, it slides from the top down. Take this off. Shut the power off. There we go. Okay, I think it's good. So I pulled out the main board just to have a look at it, and guess what I found? Cracked solders. Yep, you name it. This chip here with the heatsink on it, there's quite a few that are cracked on the pins. Let's see here, these two connectors, one of these has cracks on them. I think they both do. And I'll check the other connectors, but it's a good thing I decided to pull this out and have a look, because yeah, eventually they're going to be a problem in the future. So I'm just going to solder this all back up, and then we'll put it back together. But for the most part, it's good. I just spot checked a few caps, and everything's looking good. ESR is fine, considering its age. I don't see any heat problems going on here, so I'm just going to touch up those joints, and then we'll put it all back together. Alright, so I'm finished here. Actually, I found quite a few joints that didn't look very good at all, and I think it's probably something to do with the manufacturing process here. Some of these leads, like for example, there's a 78L06 6-volt regulator here, a little tiny TO92, and it looks like the leads were barely through the board. So what I did is I heated it and pushed the regulator through, so that you get more surface area to solder to, but it didn't look good. Maybe the owner was experiencing flaky electrical contacts on these solders, and it was causing an upset in the operation of the player. But yeah, it didn't look good. Quite a few actually didn't look good. So, but I resoldered this chip and all those connectors and all the power transistors, so it should be good now. I don't see anything else that's really standing out. Everything else looks pretty good, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to reassemble. Alright, so there you have it. It's back together. I know it's not much of a repair video, but I think we did conquer what was wrong with this problem here. We got a bad, well, it wasn't a bad belt, it was a dirty belt. See, now it loads no problem. It's working good now, so let's I can't play too much of this, otherwise I get copyright. Pause. So I'll return this to the customer and let him give it a test drive. I'm pretty sure it's whatever gremlins it had is now gone. So, all right. Thanks again for watching.